My name is Patrick Deya. I come from Kenya. Tell me something about your life in Zambia. Your life in Zambia before you came, and how that transition was coming into the U.S.
I am a professional singer and songwriter. So I did music back home in Zambia, and I'm still doing music even here. And I used to work for a banking institution as a loan consultant.
Okay.
Yes.
So how was that? Did you find that transition coming from Zambia and your music? Did you find that your music was still, blending to the? Would you still find that you could reach your audience that were here?
I do strictly gospel music. Yes, I was doing music back home, and I'm still doing music here. And I was working for a banking institution as a loan consultant. So coming to America, my music journey has been a little challenge because here in America, first of all, there's a lot of competition when it comes to music. But I had to understand that my calling is not the voice, but the message. Yes. So I started learning. It's like I started again, over again.
Wow.
Back home, it was about I'm singing in the choir, I'm doing albums, and I'm excited about music.
And are you doing the music in English or in your, mostly the language that is understood mostly
In
in
Zambia,
Zambia?
I do mostly in English, but I do also
Okay.
in my
Okay.
the languages in Zambia.
Okay. So your audience is a wide audience.
It is.
Not just when you started in Zambia, it's not just in Zambia.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But now you're in this country where it's a little different.
Yeah, what I've seen is America would teach you exactly who you are.
Okay.
Like back home, we have America is a land of opportunities. At the same time, it's a land where you work harder.
Okay.
So back home, we have those opportunities where you can sing in the choir.
Yeah.
You reach people. They like it or not, they'll hear you.
Right.
But when you get here, things are done different.
Okay.
They're so different. So when I came with my ministry over here, I had to start afresh from scratch.
Wow.
Understanding what kind of music I need to do.
Yeah.
Understanding what kind of audience I need to target.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had to relearn how to do music, obvious with of course with the lead of the Holy Spirit.
So meanwhile, what did you do in Zambia, and then that transition for you to coming here?
Okay, in Zambia, I went to school for information technology, IT. So while I was doing that, because first of all, let me go from the beginning. When I was a little boy, very young, I always wanted to be. I used to call I want to be someone who will be the best with cars, like fixing cars and all that. Ever since I was young, because I used to have my friend when we were very little, his dad used to work with cars and all that. So I used to admire that since I was little. So when growing up, we used to tell each other, say, this is what I want to be. But as time goes, or like as I separated myself from that. I was like, let me go into IT. That's where the money is and all that. So for sure, I went to the IT. And as I was doing that, that calling still kept coming back to me. Because we used to have cars at home and all that. I would just be involved in that. So eventually, I just made a decision. You know what? This is my call. This is what I want to do. I want to go into automotive technology. And while I was still back home, I started already just practicing and getting involved with people that were in the field. So the time that I relocated to the United States, I immediately enrolled myself into school in automotive technology.
Wow.
And that's how I got it. And then after that, I've never regretted. It was the best decision.
So you totally changed field, and I think that's what we were talking about. That's the beauty of this place, that it can open up your mind to just be what you really want to do.
Right.
And I was saying I probably missed my calling because I loved cars when I was young. Not that I was around them, but it was just a fascinating thing. But I think for me, my background in Kenya, my undergrad was in graphic design. I'm very visual. So I came here and did a master's in communication. I wanted to be in whatnot. But automotive is something that I thought, wow. But you see, the thing is, we are made to believe that going into an area where you're going to the office and whatnot.
Exactly. I was gonna get into that. Actually, the reason why I even stopped from doing, I changed my mind to go to IT because people used to discourage me. No, you are too smart. This is not something that you can do. This is not the best career for you. You go maybe in IT. That's when you can do. So I listened to those people. And then I stopped. I went to something else. And as you know, back in Africa, people have this, how do you call it? This, how do you call it? Is it like
The perception.
the perception? Yeah, the perception. Like when you work in the automotive, it's only for people that are like not
Last resort.
last. Exactly.
They not do
Exactly. They don't understand that you can go even higher than that. You can go into more sophisticated stuff into automotive system.
Right.
So that's what people didn't get. So when I got here, I went to it. I'm not gonna lie. It was the best decision of my life, and I enjoyed it. Though I've retired now working on cars, but I really enjoyed it.
So you've said that you're Congolese, and you talked about being the lost Congolese. But the Congolese blood still flows.
It still flies in
It
me.
still flows in you. And you grew up in Zambia completely, and then you met your wife.
Correct.
Now this is now a case where, in my view, it's kind of a cross culture. Um, your family, the thinking about how the two families are going to mesh, maybe because you have two different cultures. How did you deal with that? How did that? transition on that?
Actually, I'll say it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
I'll say because we spend most of our time, almost all my siblings, we all grew up in Zambia.
Oh,
So we know, most of us know more about Zambia and the culture, and more than Congo. It's
Yeah.
us, the young one. Maybe the older ones, they're still more connected to the Congolese culture.
Yeah.
But as for me, I would say I knew more about the Zambian culture than the Congolese culture.
so your parents didn't feel like, oh man, this guy is snatching our daughter away, is going to take him to Congo.
No. No, not at
Yeah.
all. Not
Yeah.
at all.
Did that ever come into play about home?
That never comes to my mind.
I mean, even before the marriage, did it ever come to your mind that marrying outside my my culture and whatnot, how it's going to impact?
No,
Okay.
it never came. That never bothered me, and it never came to my mind.
Yeah.
I think because we had, for me, I had a different idea of who and what a Congolese is supposed to look like.
Okay.
Because in my country,
Now she's revealing how a Congolese is supposed to look
yes,
like. Yes. Okay.
in my country, we had different types of, we have different types of Congolese, right? But the Congolese that we thought I knew are those like the ones dancing rumba and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And, they're like, I don't know if I can say this on camera, but they're different looks.
Okay.
They're light-skinned.
Okay.
Let me say that. Most of them were like light-skinned, like, I don't know.
So your dad didn't tell you you're marrying a Congolese?
No.
You want to go dancing?
No. No. They never said that because when I met my husband,
They didn't even know I was Congolese.
nobody knew he was Congolese.
Okay. Okay.
Because we were speaking the same.
We were speaking the
Same
same
language.
language.
Oh, you didn't reveal it.
We were speaking the same language, and back in the days how you gonna tell this guy is a Congolese is how they would dress up.
Yes.
Like the African fabric, they would have those shirts. So we know that's Congolese. So, but them, they never had those looks like the shirts,
Yeah.
like the African fabrics. They blended in, like they were.
So pretty much your family was already assimilated.
Yes, they were just like typical Zambian. But even if he wasn't, even if I didn't he didn't look like he was Congolese. I don't think my parents or my relatives or myself would have a problem with that.
Okay.
No,
Right.
because we're not different.
Yes. Has that ever kind of featured in your mind? My parents are Africans. Sometimes you hear them talk a different language. What goes on in your mind at that time?
Nothing really. Like, I'm kind of used to it by now. So
Yeah.
it's like they've been speaking different languages around the house a lot. So I've just been like, oh, so they're probably talking about something they don't want me to hear or something like that. So like, so like, I'm just listening, just quietly. I'm listening
For
to see,
hints. For
yeah,
hints.
for hints, yeah, yeah. If they're talking about me, because I know Daddy does that a lot. He's always saying, oh, this one is this one is that. So like, I'm listening. Is he talking about me? Are they talking about me? So like, or if they're talking about food too, like if they're talking about something we're about to eat for dinner. So hey, yeah.
Okay, so you've learned some words about the food in in the language, um, so you can actually know when they're talking about you, right?
Yeah, sometimes they speak English in some parts.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so that's what you're saying. So like I can put things together.
Yeah, so you're saying because they're mixing
Yeah.
English and which language do you use mostly?
We use Bemba.
Bemba. So when you're talking Bemba, you can mix Bemba and English at the same
And
time.
English.
So then you get a hint of what they're talking.
So when we are in the house, most of the time we speak English.
Okay.
But the only time we switch, if we are only having our conversation, we don't want them to get involved in our conversation. So that's what she's saying. So if we want to talk about something
Yeah.
that does not involve them,
Yeah.
we'll switch.
Okay.
Start using member so we can communicate.
You see, that's something that personally, and this is, I don't know whether it's, I think we were talking about it earlier, that one of the things that I always say that I've failed in as a parent is that I did not teach my children my language. We did not speak our language inside the house. And so our children, I mean, unlike the Chinese, the Koreans, the Mexicans, I mean, the Hispanics, the whole Hispanic, the children, right from, they speak their language. And I think it's a common thing, if I'm not wrong, among the Africans, we really don't teach our children.
We don't, and I think we need to do better because even in my country where I grew up from, you will see that at home, the family don't even want to use their other language. I mean, their languages. They want kids to be speaking in English.
Yeah.
Because at school we are taught in English, and at home they're like, oh no, we just want to speak English at home, you know. So coming here, I see that like I told you, we didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be speaking at least one of our languages.
Exactly. I think
least.
so. Yeah.
At least. But all of them, they could just hear a little, just tiny bit. Like maybe food, like she said, would cook food in our language. She knows what it is.
You see, like when I grew up, I grew up with 3 different languages. In the house, we spoke in Luo because that's my mother tongue. My parents did not go to school. They didn't know English, but we spoke Luo in the house. Out in the playground, we spoke Swahili. That's the other kids. At school, you speak in English because you're taught in English. So but I think, I don't know whether the fear for us Africans when we come here, and I don't know, maybe you notice that growing up, is that we think that maybe our kids will not fit in, or that they will be more, they'll be more conspicuous that they're not of this country if they're not fluent in English. So we insist that they do English all the time so that they're fluent in English. But I think it's really,
I'll add to that. I'll say back in the days, the way it used to be here in America, people used to make fun of Africans a lot. That's a fact. They used to make fun of Africans.
Yes.
But now things are changing.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be African. Even someone who has never been to Africa will be so proud to call themselves like, I'm African. She's proud to be African. She says she's proud to be African.
And I think
But
that's
back in the day, you find that people are even afraid. They try to adjust in their accent so well that I need to sound American so they don't know that I'm African. And that contributed a lot to people to be like, you know what? I want my kids to fit in.
Yes.
And that was the wrong move to do. But now I think people are adjusting to that. People are proud
I think
to be
so.
African.
Maybe we Africans should wake up and just
Should
say,
wake up.
when you have your child, make sure you let them know that you're African and you're proud.
Exactly.
And you should be proud of your language, you know. And I think that's very correct. You bring up a very important point where they used to make fun of. If you listen to movies, they talk about an African language like, like we're just babbling some nonsense words.
And even music.
And it is really structured languages.
They used to make fun of music too, African music. But now you can go anywhere in America now, you hear African music playing, you feel like, okay, this is good.
Exactly.
Exactly. So I really like where things are going now.
Wonderful.
Exactly.
What is this dynamic to you? You're a child of, you know, I'll go back to Congolese and Zambia, but you're a child of the U.S., where you are home and you're out there. How has that been to you?
In school, I made a lot of friends easily because like I was really bubbly and really excited to be in school. So I was like, oh, can you be my friend and everything? And it was kind of tough to like connect with the kids because like they came from different backgrounds as well and mostly American. So like when I'm talking to my parents or my siblings, I'm really loud, very comfortable. Yeah. But when I'm at school, I'm like, oh, what do I talk about? They don't know these things, they don't know those things. So like I'm like, oh, what do you like? And I'm like adjusting to them, not like them adjusting to me. I'm like, let me see what you like and I'll do what you like. That's how I am. So
so you're in school throughout. Were you mostly in a mixed environment where you have other Africans, other people from other countries, white, blacks? What was how was the mix?
So in half of the year of I'd say second grade when COVID started. That year, those years were like I was hanging around mostly the Americans, like the Hispanics and all those people. Like people that weren't like me, I was hanging out with those to like fit in, because it was mostly them in my old school back then. But like when COVID started, and then like even when it ended, like I moved to here. We were mostly in Montgomery, and now we moved to Frederick. So in third grade, I was like, wow, so there's actually Black people that are like me here.
Really?
So I was like, oh, okay. So let me try hanging out with them, and I could actually like talk to them. Like I didn't have to be like, oh, what do you like? What do you know? What do you do like at home? I could be like, oh, do you eat this, or how are your parents, how are your siblings? Because most of the Black people, Black American or Black Africans at school, they have a lot of siblings as well. So I was like, oh wow, so you have siblings? Whoa. So it was really cool to talk to them. But in third grade is when peer pressure started. Like third grade is when I started being pressured by other kids because they were different, like really different. In third grade, Frederick County, like there's a lot of Black Africans, but not a lot of African. Yeah, they just acted so American, and it was really confusing because you say you're African, but then you're doing all these stuff that I know my parents would not allow, like how they dressed and stuff. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like what are you doing? So it was
Did you ever come back home and say, Mom, but why do you make me dress like this? And I say, yeah.
I'm not sure if I said that to her face, but I thought about it many times.
What are the signs that you've kind of, if you would take moments where you're thinking, oh my God, my dad is saying this again. What are those times?
I'd say mostly about like grades. I'd say grades.
Grades?
Yeah.
That's an African. That is a real African. Grades, yes.
Grades, like at school, people are out, like in middle school. Let me talk about middle school now. People are out here getting F's and D's and showing their parents as if like they wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But if I got like 3 B's, I would have been done for. I'm done. I'm finished. So I'm kind of confused.
Done for. If you got 3 B's.
Yeah, like my friend, she has F's. She has F's in math,
Yeah.
English. She takes lower English, like 6th grade English,
Yeah.
when she's in 7th grade. So I'm just like, so your parents are okay with that? She's like, no, my parents don't care. They don't even check my grades, to be honest. I'm just like,
And so, yeah, you're like, why my parents on my grades are- and I'm getting
Like-
B's?
I'm just getting beat. Like, hey, I remember in 6th grade, I got my first C
Yeah.
in math.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Uh,
So no, cause the switch from middle school to like in America, I guess in America, elementary only goes to 5th grade.
Yeah.
So 5th grade, I was an all A student. I did all A's all in elementary, all A's, cause it was easy for me. So in 6th grade, I got a higher math level. In 6th grade, I took 7th grade math.
yeah.
So like it was like, oh, I'm smart. I'm
Yeah.
smart. So it was hard though. It was really hard. I'm like, what's this mean? What's that mean? But I was shy. I'm still shy, so I couldn't ask the teacher or anything. So I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. But then I got a C.
Then I remember one time in high school, as we were being given numbers, number 1 to whatever. If you're 30 in class or 35, they put your name out there at the end of the semester. And the one time I became number 32 out of 35. Now I'm revealing this, I revealed this much, much later. And at the time, I was actually living with my older brother. So he was my caretaker. I did not reveal that to him because I knew that was not going to go down well. I was just getting into tennis, and so tennis took most of my time. And but that was the last time that could happen. So I knew you can't do this because at some point they're going to ask you, where's your grade? And what number were you in, So as parents, that is something that you have to deal with. How do you balance that when your child comes home and say, but Dad, I'm getting B's and A's, but how do you deal with that?
Why are you getting B if the other kids are
I'm getting A.
What's so different from there? What's the difference to you and them?
Yeah.
If they can get A, I mean, you can get an A too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But that's just our upbringing, right?
Yes.
You have to understand from that.
Mm-hmm.
In our countries, our parents is about education. That is what will take you to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no excuse really not to do good,
Right.
not to do better. And the more we push her, like she said, when she brought that C,
Yeah.
I was very mad.
Yeah.
My husband was like, she heard what we said, she's gonna work hard. I kept talking because I know how smart she is. It's unacceptable for her to get a C.
Yeah.
And she explained, I didn't get it. I just went into middle school, so it was hard for me. Excuse me. I thought it was gonna be easy, so I did not study. I'm like, from today, let me not see you play.
Yeah.
Until you're done with your homework, you're done with everything. And if you ever bring C in this house.
Yeah.
So, fast forward, she's been bringing A's. I remember one time, was it this? Now she'll be going to 8th grade. I think you had a B, right? She had a B. I think she had a B, and then she wrote. Do you remember writing on your report card, behind the report card? Oh, what did she say? What did you say? Like something like, I'm sorry. I'll do better. And that's just a B she got. She got one of the B's. So we don't when we discipline our kids, we are not beating them up.
Yeah.
We are not doing all these things, but we are just encouraging them to do better because we know
It's a
they are
competitive
smarter.
world.
Exactly.
It's very competitive out here, and that just sets them up
Yeah.
for that world that they're going to meet out there where it's a
Exactly.
competition,
Exactly.
you know, and everybody's trying to do as as well as they can to be able to compete.
And this system that they have from elementary, where they have these awards, they give them, and they'll give them letters. They don't know what's in there. They just give their parents, and then the parents who we have to go surprise the kid
Yeah.
to be there at their school and cheer them up as they are being awarded. So it's something that if your kid don't get that award, I feel for the kids.
Yeah.
I'm sure they feel so bad. So they've been bringing those. Our son is now 9,
Yeah.
but every year he has to bring those. We have to go to his school and witness him being called and stuff like that. She brought about 3 awards, right? She brought 3. She doesn't take math of her grade. She takes higher math. Like she's always taking a grade higher in math, English, and the other stuff.
So,
So
this kind of discipline, do you see that it's shaping, what your outlook of life is, and um, it's something that is you're growing into it and you're appreciating it.
Wait, what's the question? Sorry.
The question is, and we're just picking up from what they've said, and this is about discipline, our way of life versus what you encounter out there. So in this kind of parental discipline where there's expectation for you to perform, is it informing how you're looking into life?
Yeah, I'd say so. Cause like when the difference between the teachers, like how they're teaching me and how my parents teach me
Yeah.
is very different because they're not with me throughout the teachers, they're not with me throughout the day when I'm at home.
Yeah.
And my parents, how they teach me is they're not with me throughout the day at school.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's very it contrasts.
Okay.
Because at school, I'm this very shy, kind of quiet, but with my friends, I'm very,
Bubbly.
yes, bubbly.
No, now the thing is the way we treat you, the way we treat you concerning school and everything. Is it working out for you? Do you like the way we? Is it beneficial for you?
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
For me, probably not.
Yeah. Why?
Because let's say I need help on a math homework,
Yeah.
and I ask my dad, if I get something wrong, he's gonna get irritated very quickly. Not because I got it, not because I'm getting it wrong, but because I keep asking the same question because I do not get it at all. Because the way he's explaining it does not, it
It's different
confuses me
from
from
the
how
way
they
you.
teach me at school.
But that is for real. That is really something that it's a real thing. The way they're taught things in school and the way that we were taught were totally different. I mean, sometimes I get that we used to get that frustration when our kids were young. Oh, you just read like this, like that,
Yeah.
and you're
they
hearing
don't
the
want to
answer.
think.
But
The kids don't want to take time to think.
in school they're totally taught differently, and that's something that definitely cause I know that used to cause conflict with the kid. Like, okay, you know how to do it, but okay, this may be difficult and I can help you, but I'm going to do it the way I knew it, not the way you were taught in school. And I think that can be
I remember one time she was doing math with her dad,
yeah.
and her dad was like, okay, do it. Let me see how you're going to do it. Because sometimes the kids don't want to think, even the adults. Sometimes we like shortcuts. We don't want to go straight to how did you get there? Like, how did you find yourself in this situation? So my husband is practical like that. Even for me, when I was taking math, he would give me time to think, like, babe, first think about the question. So he would ask her, Winandi, read the question again. But my teacher said, no, read the question again. So he's trying to make her understand. Now she starts shaking. But dad, it's 3, it's 4. No, read the question, understand it. So, at school, they'll teach them. They do a great job at teachers. They'll teach them in a way that they understand, but I don't think the kids have time to really reflect and think. So when she brings the same problem at home, the father will make sure she goes, if she can explain that to her friends, they will understand better. That's what I think. But her way of seeing it is like, it's a long way.
Yeah. Why should we do it this way if I can just do it this way?
Yeah.
Being in this situation, you must be thinking about, where am I headed? What are the things that, looking at your parents, is there an influence? Is there a path that you're thinking of? I know you're 13, but still people think, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a singer. What's your thought? What interests you?
What interests me is like singing, dancing,
Okay.
writing, and like somewhat teaching, but not really, but sometimes I think about teaching.
You want to go into teaching?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Why? What attracts you about teaching?
It's not really what attracts me. It's more like teaching the kids discipline. That's what. This coming generation is gonna be crazy. Just how Gen Alpha is. I can't with Gen Beta. I can't.
And you want to be in class
Just
teaching them discipline.
yeah.
But
basically.
you realize that discipline will have come from the influence of your parents.
Yeah.
And
So sweaty, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How to be?
it- again, it's early, but it's I think teaching is a very noble profession. I've always taught. In Kenya, I don't know about the education system in Zambia, but in Kenya, in my time, we had the British system where we had 7 years of primary, 4 years of secondary, and then 2 years of high school. And so after high school, there was 1 year before you go to the university. I would be a teacher, and yeah, I would teach the lower classes because my brother was a teacher. And so coaching other kids to pass the maybe standard 7 while you're a Form 6 or a Form 4. So I think teaching is a noble,
Yeah, I
a noble
think so.
profession.
Because she teaches the Sunday school at church.
Oh, yeah. So you're right in there. Do you give them some of what dads say, parents say? Hey, don't do that.
I try not to. I try not to.
So you just leave them,
No.
Okay.
So like because I teach the 2s and 3s.
Uh-huh.
So if one kid is trying to fight the other kid, I try to break them up nicely without like yelling at them,
Uh-huh.
because that's what I do with my siblings.
You yell with your siblings?
Yeah, because they're real. Sometimes they don't listen at all.
Yeah.
But like if I'm trying to teach the kids that are not my siblings or not related to me, I try to use my words calmly because I don't know if they're really sensitive or really. I don't know how they're taught at home.
Wow.
So I try to break them up with toys or giving them coloring pages or all those stuff.
Okay. Now, you've talked about being a singer. That's what you've done in a long time. And that's what you continue doing. What is that the path you're following, your career path that you're following, or what do you do now?
Yes, so that's the career path I'm following. I was in corporate, but because now we have 4 kids, I had to stay home and just focus on my music career.
Okay. Wow. Um, have you ever practiced the banking that you did?
Yeah, I was actually in banking over here.
You were in banking over here?
Yes, my last job was in the bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so just again, that in the way we look at it, here in the U.S., one thing that I found out is our children are like our handbags.
Oh, yeah.
But everywhere you go, you're with them. And so you being at home,
Yeah.
do you see that as something that has maybe helped in terms of the discipline, in terms of the time you spent? Because a lot of times kids spend a time, at school, they come home, their homework, it's sleep, eat, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we've seen that has changed a lot, because and that was the reason why we had to decide that I should stay home. It because of the kids.
Yeah.
The time I was working, would see that they were not eating right. They were just watching TV on their gadgets and stuff like that. But because as Christians, we know we are raising nations,
Yes.
we are raising kids that will be wives one day and husbands one day. And we want our kids to grow up to be the way the Bible says, raise a kid in a way that they should grow, so that when whatever the word will impact in them
Yes.
will not depart from them. They'll grow up with that.
Yes.
So we believe that if we just let the kids being taken care of by daycare or whatever, those people, that's their job, right?
Yeah. They don't have your values.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
values are different. A child come home behaving certain way, and you wonder why a child behave like this. Somebody else is teaching your kids something.
Yes.
So we as parents are responsible to raising our own kids.
Right.
Like, nobody can love your kids like you love them.
And
And nobody can teach your kids the values that you have yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. You talking about that, there's a time, my daughter, I think, she was 4 and our son was 1 or 2. And I would notice that anytime, because we used to take them to the daycare, mom and dad are both working. And sometimes we'd come home, and in the evening, we notice that if my daughter is going closer to the brother, he starts kicking. And we would wonder, what's happening? We didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Until one time, I go to pick them up, and I find that they were actually watching wrestling.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, the babysitter, wherever we took them, would put on TV, and he had a 9 or 10-year-old boy, and they would be watching wrestling. And so the reason why my son was kicking is that my daughter would sometimes practice something that she saw, like biting him or falling on him, wrestling him. So that is real, when you take your kids out for somebody else to care.
Yes.
They may not care exactly the same way. And most likely you're not going to take them to another African setting.
That's right.
They're going to be in a setting that everybody, yeah. And you went into automotive. Tell us something about that.
Okay, so I went into automotive. Like I said, when I moved to America, I went straight into school.
Yeah.
And while I was in school, I even got a job. I started working for Honda. So I relocated to North Carolina. I went over there, still continue working in the automotive field. And then 4 years ago, that's when I decided to retire in automotive. Not really retire automotive, I'm still in automotive, but I went more into sales.
Into sales.
Like I'm in the management system now.
Okay.
I'm one of the managers managing and training
Okay.
some people now. That's what I mean.
No, I know for sure that the COVID time was difficult.
That's right. Yes, very
Because
difficult.
my eldest son, my middle child, the son, he got into sales. And the first year he can talk. I mean, the boy can talk.
You need to talk.
You know. And so he did very well. The very first year, I mean, I think every time he would tell me, "Oh, Dad, I met my sales quota for every month." And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And there were no cars to sell. And so he had to look for something else because there were no cars to sell.
Exactly.
Then and then at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, at the time, now used cars became more in demand.
More in demand, that's very true.
So I remember him going into the used car side.
That's right.
And being the person that goes out to evaluate the the value of
The
the used
value
car.
cars.
But even that started dwindling. So
Exactly.
tell us.
So as for me, I would say during COVID,
Yeah.
surprisingly, that was kind of one of the best time.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That was actually the best time because, like you mentioned, used cars
Yeah.
started booming.
Yeah.
Because I'm on maintenance side,
Okay.
so people started keeping their cars longer.
Longer.
So people, for some reason, people didn't have job, but people had money. I don't know how, maybe because of what people were getting from the government.
Yeah.
People were spending more money during that time.
Wow.
So people were spending like big time on just keep upgrading their cars and all that.
Yeah.
So that time actually did not affect us because they used to consider us as essential workers.
Right.
So when everybody shut down, us we still
still
operate
employed.
the whole time. Yeah.
Wow.
So it did not really affect us that much actually.
I am in. I've been in broadcasting,
Okay.
and I remember when first COVID hit, we were home, and that time you're wondering where is my career going?
Exactly.
How long is this going to take? Because we're in very close proximity with them.
That's true.
And so that was an interesting time. That was an interesting time.
Correct.
So what's your
long-term goal? So right now we are transitioning to real estate.
Yeah.
So we're actually working on that. We're combining both.
Okay.
So my job and some other thing, like we are more into real estate. We have a family business that is running on the side.
Okay.
So into rental business, I would say.
If you were to, and you can, both of you, if you were to advise an African immigrant coming in who is thinking about a certain way, and again, as we know it, we come here, we want to read. What are some of the advice that you would give?
The best advice that I would advise someone who's moving to America is you have to integrate into the system. The number one mistake most Africans make, like when I moved to America, I'll be like, where are the Africans? Let me find my fellow African. It's good. It's good to be among Africans. But again, you have to adjust to how the American system works. So the problem that the main reason why Africa is where it is because the way we behave and treat in Africa. So America is where it is because the way they set up their system. So the number one mistake most people make when they come to America and start maintaining their life standard and live their life the same way we used to live in Africa. When I'm talking live in Africa, I'm not saying like you forget your culture.
No.
Culture-wise, we have to maintain that.
Right.
I'm talking about business-wise, the way we work, the way we do.
Looking at life, being able to adjust.
To adjust, correct.
Yes.
So that's the number one mistake most people make when they move to America.
And also just I think the consideration of other types of work.
Correct.
For example, you went into automotive. A lot of times we don't think about going to something like HVAC.
Exactly.
Or being an electrician.
We don't.
Because the way we think about those things that you do with your hands
exactly,
is that you did not, you failed up here.
Exactly.
That's why you have to bring things back to your hand. But I think that's not true completely, because some of these professions are very, very, first of all, they're in demand. They'll never go.
Very much in demand, yes.
Some of these things, I don't think AI will take over.
No, never.
There's no time AI is going to come to your house to repair your broken, air conditioning. I don't think so.
Yeah. And the other thing that I would say to someone who's relocated from Africa is don't let your accent stop you from getting where you want to be.
Yes.
I remember sometimes back when I was just new, when I started, like, okay, I need to stop working on this. I need to go now in the management since I need to be a manager.
Yes.
I remember there used to one of the manager who used to pass some comment. I know Eddie can never do that because he can't speak English. Because sometimes American they will say you can't speak English because you can't speak like them.
Right.
And they'll say, yeah, you can speak English. So that really sank into my head. Yeah. Why would he say that I can speak English? But when he communicates every time I know that. Yeah. And the other thing that started coming to my mind, I look at people like Indians. You see those people, they have very high position, and you can see their accent. They still maintain their accent.
Exactly the same way.
They have a very high position, a corporate position, and all that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
so why not us? And now I use that like a motivation.
Yeah.
And that's where I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go for that, and that's the direction I'm taking. And that's one thing that stops most Africans. Like, okay, I'm African, now let me just stop here.
Yeah.
I can't speak like them. Let me stop here. That should not
No,
stop
no. I'll
any African from doing that.
bring you back to your music, gospel music. That definitely means that you were brought up in a very religious kind of family setting. How has that influenced your family? How do you use that as your family cohesion, your family values, the things that you look at as important, and how do you impart that into the children?
Yeah, so yeah, I was raised in a Christian home. So I remember when I was young, we prayed every night, like having like a Bible study every night before going to bed, and that's what. Thank God, my husband also was the same. So that's the most thing that we practice in our home as
You
well.
found that as a commonality.
Yes, yes. Before we go to bed, even our 2-year-old leads prayer as well before we go to bed, even if she can't like speak. Like she speaks, but some words you can't get it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to praying, she has to lead prayer as well.
Okay.
So that's one thing that we've done. And um, because sometimes when you're a child, you don't really know that the parents are teaching you things, right? You just follow. They tell you, let's pray, you pray. Let's go to, time to go to school, you do the same. But when we grow up now, we find ourselves doing exactly that, what was done in our homes. And somehow we borrow the same culture that we had in our homes and bring it in our own home. And I think that growing up in that kind of a setting in my home, in my parents' home, um, I didn't have to think about it.
Okay.
It just came.
Okay.
Like in the night, we have to do this. Morning, we have to do this. The day we have to fast, we have to do this. And gradually the kids now are getting used to that. And if you're going somewhere, you're in the car, you didn't pray, the little one is the one who's going, Mommy, we have to pray.
Yeah.
So it has become part of us that we don't even force it.
Yeah.
The kids already know what to do. We already know what to do. And we live by that.
How do you find yourself in that? Again, we're in a society that, there's a lot of, you're free to do this, or you're free to do that. You're free to do that. You have your own mind, Now, as a teenager, and I know Dad doesn't want to say that yet. Dad still doesn't want to say that you're a teenager. I think you said you want her to be a teenager when she's 18. No. After 18. After 18. Do you find that there's something sometimes, when you're in school among your friends or whatnot, does religion come up, discipline about growing up in a Christian house, that come up, and how do you tackle that?
So what I do, I have a really diverse friend group.
Uh-huh.
So I try to find friends that are also Christian because I take Christianity very seriously.
Okay.
And since I grew up with my parents that take it very, very seriously, so I try to grow like them.
Yeah.
So when I'm choosing my friends, I choose the ones that are usually not like biased or anything, but I usually choose Africans or people that grew up in a Christian home. But I can't really choose that because I have people in my classes. I try to make friends with everyone in my classes. So I have people that came from like Buddhists. I have a lot of Buddhist friends. And I also have a lot of friends that grew up without a religion. So when I start talking about religion to my friends that are also in the same religion, and then in that same friend group, there's a friend that doesn't have that same religion or is not religious at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I want to include them in the conversation, but I don't want to like force my religion on
On
them.
them. Okay.
So like I'm like, let me just not talk about it.
Right.
I would talk about it with my friends by myself, and we'll talk about something else like school related or like something funny with that other friend.
Okay. So you find that maybe the being immersed in religion, the discipline, you kind of find friends who are kind of the same discipline, same values as you. That's interesting. That that's been something that you've thought about in terms of, hey, in this country where religion is kind of, sometimes even questioned, or does that something that features in your mind?
Yes, it does. It does. First, I'll talk first about my personal experience. Religion is not something that I go, like, let's say I'm at work, I'll impose on someone, oh, I'm a Christian, this and this and that. But it's the way I live my life. And that's why people say, no, there's something different about this guy. He must be a Christian. I'll give you a scenario, like an example. Back in the day when I was in North Carolina, I used to have my boss. He's a Jehovah's Witness, and I am a Christian. So me and him, because you know how them they are, they will always approach you, try and convince you to join them. So we used to have those kind of conversations a lot. Oh, you need to do this. You need to come to worship with me. So I'm like, okay, you need to come and worship with me too. So let's do. So we used to have those scenarios all the time. So one day I was talking to one of the employees, and that employee went and talked to that supervisor. As Eddie said this and this, like a bad word. He said a bad word. That man stood up and supported me. No, Eddie can never say that. That's not from him. And then when I heard him saying that, I'm like, wow. So this guy, he has seen something in me, like this guy can never do this, even though he didn't even hear what I said. So that really showed like people watch how I live my life, and they watch how we live our lives. So you don't really have to impose. So we preach Christianity for our lives. It's the way we treat people.
I think we've talked quite a bit about our South.
Correct.
But transitioning to the U.S., really, sometimes we think about, "Oh, I wish somebody told me this. I wish somebody had told me before I got here." What is that wish for you? That's one thing that you made, and like, somebody should have told me about this.
About the US?
Yeah, you're migrating from your country.
Yeah.
You've probably not been in another country. You're leaving your family behind.
Yes.
Most of the family are remaining behind.
Most of us back home, we feel like the US is heaven. We feel like, yes, US has a lot of opportunities, but we just feel like when I go to the US, everything will be okay. But actually, everything is not really okay, but I'm grateful that US has taught me so much. You can't be lazy and survive in the US.
No, you can't.
You cannot be.
And
At least
doesn't grow on trees.
no. Oh yeah, money does not grow on trees over here.
Yeah.
So maybe the time I was younger, maybe I should have done certain things that are hard to do now that I have 4 kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As for me, I used to have this picture of the US. See, when we watch movies back home and all that, so I was like, okay, I see this in the movie. When I go to the USA, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So when I got here, started working, I'm like, okay, I don't have time and money to do all those things. So I wish someone had communicated with me, okay, listen, when you come over here, you need to work, you need to save up enough money for you to live this kind of a life. Those people that live that kind of a life, they've already worked or they have enough money to live that kind of life. So if someone had communicated that with me, I thought maybe it was gonna help a lot.
To prepare you
To
for hard
prepare
work, to
exactly
do what you want to do.
exactly to prepare for the work. Just like she said,
Yeah.
you have to work really hard in this country to
Exactly.
manage.
And for you, you're in this family that have immigrated. Your parents, both of them, and you encounter different things sometimes out there, back here. What are those moments that you say, oh, maybe, oh, my dad is saying this again, or my mom is saying this again, and You just look at it and they're like, yeah, they got foreheads. They just don't understand me.
I think one of the topics that are like that, I think it's like peer pressure,
Yeah,
like how peer pressure affects someone.
yeah.
Cause at school, I'm the one that everyone looks up to. I'm the mom of the group.
Oh,
At
really?
school,
Wow.
yeah. I have to take care of everybody. So it's really stressful to take care of this person and then take care of that person and then take care of these person's problems because their problems are coming onto me.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, so how do I fix this for you? So I'm like, oh, okay, you do this, you do that. And then someone comes up to me saying, oh, can you help me do this? I'm like, oh, okay, let me help you. Because I can't really say no to them
Yeah,
because like they need help.
yeah.
And I'd put my problems aside to help them with their problems. So it's like, why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
We're thinking about problems.
Bro, no,
Problems.
no, like school problems.
I know.
Okay.
Not like.
I understand.
So don't you think that that's maybe comes from the discipline that you have? I mean, that it kind of just shows that, hey, she knows what she's doing. You know, she's a, you know, you have that discipline to know what you're doing, and other people kind of you bring out that vibe. Do you think that vibe comes from the two of them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, I know that you know, for me, one thing that if I wish somebody had told me coming in was that you don't have to go and do exactly just reading, and, because I like doing things with my hands, and I like, you know, as a kid we would make these cars from the wires, you know, and I was the best at it, making the wheels. There a way that you coil the wire on this side and you coil the wire on this side and you make sure that it's rotating at the same, you know, it's they're all the same. And so if somebody had told me that you just don't have to go to school just to read, I would have still done what I was wanted to do, but I would have probably also done something else to do with my hands because I like doing things with my hand. And I think that's when I came with that here with the knowledge that, oh, doing this is not what I'm supposed to do. Well, I think this has been a wonderful conversation. I think somebody watching this should be able to pick up some of the things that we've talked about. A new person immigrating to this place, they're watching this program, they can learn something from it. And so I really want to thank you for making the time and being here and discussing and hearing some of the things from you know, from her. So thank you very much.
Mtoto lala